Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday morning, April 18th, 2022. I'm going to be a tax collector for a little bit until we can do something about all this nonsense with taxes and how out of control it is. Come on, baby. You want to come up here with Mom? Come on. Want to come up here? Come in. She's always frightened about. She's afraid she's going to hit something or hurt something or I don't know. So come on. Come on, Anna Grace. Come on up with Mama. Um, so anyway, I never know what I'm going to experience when I wake up. This morning I woke up abruptly at 5, not sure why. Did not have massive head pain. But all of a sudden, when I start doing my assessment of my body, my legs felt like they were going to explode. They were extremely tight, and they still are. So I decided, I laid there for a little bit, and Mondays are usually my clean my house day, my room, because I help out with the staff. Many hands makes light work, and it was great to witness this morning a friend that I've met from Michigan. I've made new friends. I make friends daily here. I love that. But I saw her reserving her chairs out, for the family because she's here with her family, but they're staying at the resort next door. But we have a shared swimming pool, which is so cool. She's out doing what I do and tidying up the pool area from the last night aftermath. People having fun. Boy, do I know that oh too well. All the parties at the Coco Cabana, oh sweet Lord in heaven. The next day, I was like, oh sweet Lord, I hope I get somebody to come help me. But if not, oh well, I'll get it done. Not a big deal. And it was amazing how people would show up to help. And that was such a gift and such a blessing. And I know he sent them. Don't you do that. The dog that I got when I was in the hospital, she's going to start talking to, barking at. You got toys over here. How about that one? She's wound up this morning. So anyway, when I woke up and realized, I'm going to have to do some major medical on myself today, I tidied up here and there, and my wheels started turning. And I was at the market on Saturday. I'm going to pause this for a second because I don't have to hold that thought thing. Okay, I'm back. All right. So if I hit the pause, I have to hit the pause again. What I did the other day when I was doing my Easter is I hit the record button again and it stopped it and started recording another video. So I was like, oops. Oh, well, try and error with your computer. So as I tell this story, I'm going to look for what I want to show you. So while I'm at the market, it's interesting when people see a need and they want to fill it. But sometimes the need arises. Crazy. Okay. Sometimes the need arises, but it may not be fully what somebody realizes it is or knows it is. Only the person that's in need knows what they need. But usually, but if you can literally see a need and you can fulfill it, well, that's just even bigger. Well, so this woman saw my nails. You see my middle nail? It hasn't changed. It's been like that for several days. They're all jacked up. And the only one that had really completely come off was my thumbnails. Craziest thing. Nothing is worse than going to get your nails done and you have to be careful with them. I'm so over that. I've been doing that for so many years in my life. And you want to talk about nonsense and stress, added stress I don't need in my life. I could care less if they're like this the rest of my life. I actually am enjoying them, not dealing with them. You want to talk about maintenance-free nails? except all you gotta do is push back the cuticles and trim them. And then every once in a while, when they get more than what I have in my room to take care of them, I'll go have a manicure. But I certainly don't need polish put on them because the polish didn't even last 24 hours because it's artificial. Anything artificial that I have put on my body or in my body does not want it. If that is one thing I have discovered in my life, that's the biggest thing I've discovered, is my body does not process anything artificial at all. None of our bodies should. And that's why our bodies go into cardiac arrest, so to speak, flight or fight mode, because they're like, wait a minute, what'd you just put in your body? That doesn't belong here. Wait a minute. So she reached over and she handed me, and I'm not going to say her name, but she's handed me her business card, which shows me how to put on Color Street nails. So she first gave me this one, which is Soho Ver. It is the name of it. Well, as we were talking, and I was telling him about my Spanish friends and the food that he was selling, and I was picking up bread for us here because it's so amazing. They're homemade sourdough bread. That she handed me some samples to fix my 2 thumbnails. She didn't look at them all, but it's okay. That was so sweet of her to see the need. So she handed me these. So then as we were talking, she's realizing the color that she gave me doesn't match the rest of them. Well, I could care less. I would have slapped them on there, but I didn't. I went to church with them jacked up. I didn't care. I did not care. I said, if I'm going to church and people are looking at my nails, well, then there's a bigger problem than I thought there was out there. When your nails look like this, when people break them off or whatever, there's a story that goes with it. Some of them are funny. Some of them are women working hard and they have to use their hands a ton and they just start snapping off. There's so many stories attached to our hands. So this morning, I used a product that I discovered this last year. That's soy polish remover. That's not toxic. It's 17 chemical free. That's in normal stuff. That you go to the salon and you're smelling all that, and of course you're breathing it in your body. So what's it doing to your body? It's not healthy what it's doing to your body when you smell all that. It's not. I don't care what they tell you. It's not good. So the day I get my nails done, I come home. Of course, the first thing you gotta do is, what is it? You gotta go to the bathroom. As soon as I pull my bathing suit down, I look at my fingernails. I no longer have polish on my 2 thumbs. I was like, well, that didn't last long. Now I understand. And I almost did not get them polished. I thought, you know what? It's Easter. Let's do blue like the water. Fine. Well, match my toes. Because your toes, they just don't take the abuse like your hands because you're constantly using them. Your feet, you don't. Unless you don't have hands, then you're using your feet. And there are people out there that have to use their feet as hands. So you need to appreciate how important these are. So I discovered this soy polish remover, and I'm here to tell you, this took this off faster than any acetone nail polish I have ever used in my entire life. I kid you not. And it's filled with tons of essential oils. My nails, taking that polish off, don't feel dry. They feel moisturized from that. My cuticles feel moisturized, everything. And this is from Ella Mila. I don't know if there's other ones, and it's lavender scent. And it says vitamin enriched with essential oils. It says polish with love. And so I would strongly, it's got an elephant on it. Of course it does. I love elephants. In fact, out here, this tree, I swear, looks like the elephant head and this tree branch going up and sprays like the elephant's watering. I you got to have your own creativity in your mind. And when my mind has gotten rid of all the outside noise and I can do my critical thinking without all of the bullshit, excuse my language, but that's the truth because it all is. And all these people with their negative energy and their diarrhea of the mouth, you need to and clean up your act. Your filthiness and your wicked ways are not welcomed. Not in my life. I'm over it. I am sick to death of listening to your nonsense. And there's so many people out there that are like that. You think he appreciates that? And you can judge all you want on me, but you know what? I don't care. Because the only person I have to worry about is him. He's the one that's going to judge me in the end. And I already know where I'm headed. So it's kind of crazy when you start getting rid of all of the toxic crap in your life, how it frees your mind up to critical think in a way that you've never been able to do. This morning, in my little bit of tidying up, which I still have to strip the bed and I mop my own floors and I polish the furniture. I do it all for them. I think they've been in my room twice since I've been here because I told them there's no need. I've got it covered. You can come in and inspect if you like. But I discovered something else while I was cleaning because I went storage to get mine. You know, those little roller brushes to get dog hair off. What about one of these? That's what I used. It was unbelievable. I just went, quick, 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 and it went right onto the floor, and I swept it all up, and it was done. So anything that had attached to a pillow, quick, 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 whipped it off, put it in a pile, swept it up, and it was all gone. No waste of those roller things to make life easier. This worked better. And the stiffer, the better. And this one isn't even that stiff, but it did it. It did it on the furniture. This little sofa had a little bit of hair on it, so I just brushed it right off. Even had a little dust on it. It even took the dust off the little sofa here. Simple things in life. When did I'm all about taking care of my body. But when did getting your nails done, like I did? I had acrylic nails for years. Ask anybody. I was always put together because that's what my mom taught me. It was about what you looked like on the outside. Heaven forbid you're a good person on the inside, because she wasn't. That's why she's gone into hiding. Complete hiding. She's been in hiding for a while now. Hopefully she's repenting. That's what I'm hopeful for. When I got sick, the first thing that I worried about was my health. And these I could have given two shits about. Again, I apologize for my language, but sometimes it's more effective. That's my relationship with him. Your relationship can be whatever it wants to be. Everybody's in this world can be their relationship with him. But my relationship with him, he understands this world needs shock factor. Trust me. Because everything else hasn't been very effective now, has it? Look around. The destruction, the lies, the betrayals. So maybe my method isn't the politically correct, but frankly, I don't give a damn. Because I'm not here to suffice man. I'm here to do my job for him. That's what we're all here for. We're all here to spread love and kindness and help those in need. That's our duty to him. Now, man wants it to be about the bottom dollar. There's a huge difference here. So you have to make your choices based on you. I got that loud and clear. But people need to stop browbeating other human beings that are trying to make this world a better place. And you know who you are out there. Clean up your act. And if you have to, get some soap out to clean that yap out. So that you don't have diarrhea coming out of your mouth every 2 seconds. So you're not making up stories about people behind their back and hurting them. Do you think that Jesus would do that to another human being? Absolutely not. And he only lived on this earth for 33 years. Now, I hit the ripe age of 56, and I don't know how long I'm on this earth, and man's certainly not going to give me a death sentence. He can kiss my tail end. I love those doctors that give people how long they're going to live, and God swoops in and says, really? I'm in charge. You're not. So it's amazing when you're free of all of that noise, what your mind is capable of comprehending. Easter was yesterday. And what a godsend to watch Facebook and other social medias flood with family pictures and Christ is risen. I almost cried because people are finally listening. And I'm not the only one out there. There are many of us out there that are doing our part to help change this blasted, bloody mess of a world right now, to make it good, to prove to him we are not ungrateful for the suffering that Jesus did on the cross. To witness countless family photographs of Easter, and to think that if I had my accounting practice, I would have been working, because that's what man engraved in our heads about deadlines, etc. So here's me being the tax collector again. If you don't have your taxes done today, who gives a crap? File a flippin' extension. That's what they're for. And take your time to get them done. That's what I'll be doing today. Now, last year and the year before, I filed them on time because there wasn't much to file. But I started a company this year. And I made $17,000 in that company. $17,000 of profit because I had zero expenses. $17,000 profit with one transaction for my business. $17,000 doesn't get you very far in this day and age, not with inflation. And I think I made 10,000 from my accounting practice, the sale of it. So I used all that money for necessities. It's not like I went wild spending money. I had to buy stuff to furnish a house that I needed stuff for. On top of being assisted, outside assistance. So even though I've been incapacitated, I'm trying to find ways to suffice man and his constant efforts to drill down our brains that you've got to work to earn a living. You know, to get this papaya at church yesterday really was a treasure. Because here's a family, and they had 4 or 5 kids. Sweetest family in the world. Every person. I went to the Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints yesterday. They invited me, and it's like I could have walked there. Almost. It's that close, though. They welcomed me with open arms. So she had an abundance of papayas that she brought in a little laundry basket to pass out to anybody that needed them. Because that's what he wants us to do. Share the wealth. And her wealth was in papayas because she has an abundance of them in her yard. What part of the Bible did people forget? Where's your foundation from the Bible, or do you even have one? And if you don't, do what I did and start reading the Bible in January. Trust me, I've been a Christian my whole life. May not have always listened, but I am listening loud and proud right now. And I will listen loud and proud until he calls me home, because my life belongs to him. He saved my life on October 16th of 2019 when I took mine on October 15th of 2019 because I finally couldn't take this world anymore. I finally couldn't handle the destruction and the lies and the stealing and the hurting and the everything. I couldn't deal with it anymore. Everybody knows me. I am a love. I've been a love my whole life. Despite what this world has thrown at me. And then he led me here to a place I didn't even know existed. And it was 30 minutes north of where I lived. It's more perfect than the house that I lived in. As much as I adored that house, it was a place of worship and it was a place of healing. But this place where I'm at now is far greater. Far greater, because we work together as a family. And here's this gal from Michigan. She goes out there, and I'm sure I've got a little gift in storage. And I've got some, when I became an Avon lady, when I first got to Florida, because I need skin so soft for the no-see-ums. Well, they didn't work, because in Summerlin Key, they might as well just carry you off. They're that bad there. But they're not like that here at all. It's unbelievable. I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have to live with this the rest of my life? No. I can feel every once in a while, but I'm not getting swollen like I used to. I swear I have formed my own barrier with my own energy. But anybody that knows, I mean, you should see my legs. They swell up to these big old globular things and be, sorry for the grossness of this, but they get filled with blood and pus, and I'd have to rip them open to medicate them. And what I used was Biofreeze to stop the itch. I rolled it on my open wounds, and it burned like no tomorrow, but it stopped it dead in its tracks, and it stopped the itch. And I even told my friend, I can't remember her name. There's another Natalie out there, but she's not with that group. There's so many names. I would have to repeat them over and over for them to stick in my brain. 3 times is the deal. As long as you can, if you keep repeating it at least 3 times, it'll stick. So when did we all become so worried about our parents and these became a necessity that, oh my gosh, my nails, I gotta get them done. I'm guilty. I did it for years. And what a waste of time and money. Did it make me feel good? Yeah. Did I get compliments? Yeah. But did I give people that would make comments when they were broken? Yeah. To witness humans from all over the world just at this little resort that's not hundreds of rooms. I honestly think there's only 33 or 31. It's 30 something. But the amount of and then the next door, the um, timeshares and rental units next door, and we share a pool. So you've got 2 communities that work together, and and they don't allow dogs, but the Banana Bay Resort does. And everybody that stays there goes crazy because they don't have their dogs, so they're loving on my dogs. And of course, my dogs adore it because not only do they get love from me constantly, they're getting an abundance of it from the guests. Win-win. It's a diamond in the rough. And I love that about this place. And it's amazing when you really sit back and digest what you can see with your own eyes. I didn't even have to read the commentary. All I had to do is look at the pictures and feel and see all the love from all the families. And I'm going to go back to my article from Crow Magazine on the Drury family. And that hot title, God, Family, and Business. That should be our world motto. I mean, it's printed on our money. Why else do they want to get rid of it? In God we trust, we'll go to electronic money. Kiss my tail end. That is the stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life. Let's let them control us some more. You want to know how it works? You want to see the future? Well, all you got to do is watch that movie with Bruce Willis. And Chris Tucker, The Fifth Element. Watch how they live. No thanks. I don't want to live like that. I want to live where there's love and joy and kindness and sharing, like my papaya at church yesterday. Or the bartering exchange at their market the day that I was evicted. that darkness, that evil is out in full force. And we all have to do our part to combat it and suit up with our breastplates of righteousness to protect ourselves and our loved ones from those that hate and steal and want to hurt us. I'm not here to hurt anyone. I'm here to enlighten anyone. I'm here to spread love and show you how to love and teach you about God's word. And we can learn together. Because I'm still a work in progress. We all are. And the things that I learn on my own is super duper fun because I don't get graded on it. And I could care less that an educator needs to give me a big fat grade and a degree in order for me to be well versed in a certain topic or subject. I'm sorry. We can all learn because God gave us a brain. But man made it about titles and certificates and degrees. You know how many people that I've met that are blue collar workers that are highly intelligent? They should be given an honorary degree because they learned on their own. There should be School of Hard Knocks degrees out there. And we should be rewarding humans daily with those because they've earned them. A lot of electricians don't go to school. They just have to pass a test to be an electrician, or I think they have to do, I'm not exactly sure. I think they have to do an apprentice program maybe or something. I'm not sure exactly the ins and outs of everything, but I know at the end there is a test. Just like with the CPA exam, which was a bunch of nonsense. Because I've worked with CPAs. Now, I know there's CPAs out there that are very intelligent, highly intelligent. They're very good at what they do. But they're not all like that. There's a lot of criminals out there. There's a lot of crooks. And they're all about taking your money. I never was. I just wanted to help people minimize as much as they could under the laws with what they earned. And then that flipping government keep giving out free money. I don't want your free money anymore. I never wanted it to begin with. When did they ask our permission to do the things that they've done? We've all trusted them. Well, we can trust them no more. They have made it crystal clear what their intentions are, and they aren't there in their administrative positions to help any of us. All they're doing is hurting us left and right. Inflation's at an all-time high. Hunger is becoming widespread. Homelessness is becoming widespread. Illnesses have gone to toxic levels. I don't have to watch the news to know what's going on. All I have to do is open my eyes and do a lot of this. What the world needs is love. Lots of it. And it's the only way we're going to unite this world is with love and kindness. And those selfish acts need to turn into selfless acts of kindness and love. And you need to help that neighbor. having my friend from Cuba that I met in Miami when I was renting a car and there was no cars available and he became my driver, opened my eyes to a world I never knew existed. He never shopped at a normal store, so I took him on a shopping spree per Phil's approval because he had never been in a store. And we went to Bell's Outlet or Bell's store, which is a discounted, very nice store because that's where I shopped for myself. I've never been a frivolous spender. I have always been a thrifty spender my entire life. And then at tax season, every year, after working 7 days a week for months and months and months, I would splurge and buy myself one something. One year it was golf clubs and golf attire. And every year I replenished my bathing suit supply because I was in my swimming pool constantly and they just wear out. You can't just have one bathing suit. I mean, you can, but it's not going to last long. That'd be an interesting to see how long one bathing suit would last. Maybe I'll do that one day. That'll drive me out of my mind, but I'm willing to try anything if it's going to help so people can understand how wasteful we have become. When I have water that the dogs start, it just turns bad, I water the plants with it because originally it was purified. It may have some gross stuff in it, but there's still some nutrients in it. Rather than dumping it down the drain where it does no good. Just like leftover food. I don't throw it in the trash. I throw it in the water for the fish. Because once it hits that salt water, it's purified more than anything. And I've been doing that ever since I got here. And there's lots of restaurants. If you go to them, you'll watch them just flick the food over. And some people are appalled, but they don't understand the healing properties of salt water. When something loses its saltiness, that's when you need to be concerned. I just lick my arm, personally, because my body has always had an abundance of salt. And for the first time the other day, when I licked my arm, it didn't taste salty and it concerned me. So I added some to my diet. And I didn't have to have very much at all, just a little bit. I can taste the salt in butter. Most people can't. I can. So everybody has their religions and their beliefs, but you have to make your own choices. You want to still stay in the path man has us on? Because it's not a good road. Not when I put in a search engine, see no evil, and don't get the monkey like this. Get some horrific looking man that's in a movie, see no evil, that looks downright horrific, like a horror movie. And I'm sure it is. I don't know. I don't care to know. The internet can be used as a tool for learning, research, connecting with others, but it also has a huge darkness attached to it. And I've proved that time and time again on just emojis. You type in the devil and you get the devil. You type in God and you get nothing for an emoji. Now, what's that tell you? Try it yourself. See what it brings up for God. It doesn't bring up a cross. That's for sure. As well it should. We all need to unite together with love. It's the only way we're going to stop this. And if we can continue on like yesterday, family first, after God, well, let's say God first, then family second. Well, this world will be a much better place to live in now, wouldn't it? That's the world I want to live in. Isn't that the world you want to live in? Where everybody gets along and I mean, I saw that sense of family unit, the loving, the everything. And I'm seeing it here. I see it here all the time. And to hear from other countries how much they love America and they're just disgusted with us. That is disturbing and that upsets me. When they're talking about these people are just so disrespectful to others right in front of them. And this couple from Scotland that took their family to Disney and then they were in Miami, they didn't even know what to do. They said that is a place that we had no idea. You got to do your research in this day and age of where those places you want to go and subject yourselves to. Because they went to Key West and they went down Duval. That's not a place to take your children. Personally, I think Key West should have a playground for adults if that's what they want to do. But they got it all out in the open. And yesterday they had a drag race, which was quite entertaining. Quite entertaining. These men are all dressed up like women in high heels, not all of them, and they've got an obstacle course. It was hysterical to witness the video, watch the video. The things that they come up with are so flippin' fun, but it's not family friendly. That's a choice those men made to be that way, and that's okay. That's their choice. This mother sat me down. Well, she was sitting down eating breakfast. Well, the husband is a packer. She said he loves to pack, and she goes, well, you know what? How about I go to breakfast and you just get it all done? And she goes, it has worked out so much better to find out what he's good at. And I let him do it, and he is so happy about it. And I just am sitting here and enjoying my quiet little breakfast. She said, do you know what it's like to try to explain to your children something you don't understand yourself? She said, we're leaving today. And she said, America's not the same place. And they were here for 2 weeks. So you see how you can get an education from humans? And I'm getting it every day. From people that I talk to at the grocery store or wherever, at the market, here at the resort, you name it. They say talk is cheap. Yeah, because it doesn't cost a cent. Don't chintz it up. Just because it doesn't cost any money doesn't mean it's not priceless. Because what she told me about Miami, I already knew. Because I've stayed there, and I've been there a lot. And I know what it's like when I was in my medical seeking trip last year at this time. And I was camping out up there because I had 4 teeth extracted on my right side and bone grafts on my upper and lower jaws on both sides of my mouth. My grandfather and my father both had issues with their teeth. And they both had them removed when they went into the military. Because back then, they felt that bad teeth equaled mental health issues. Then they found out that was not true. But my question to the government is, if you remove their teeth, how are you going to know who they are? You don't have their dental records to compare them to. And what if their dog chains have been pulled off and it's not like their name's tattooed to their arm? So that's my biggest question to the government is, why did they do that? And how did they, if somebody died in combat, how did they know for sure that that is who, in fact, that was them? There's no way possible they could know that. In my own book, from an outsider looking in. You ever think about that? I didn't. Until I got here. And the dentist talks to me about my mother being on tetracycline a lot when I was pregnant. And I said, no, she had me on it all the time. For what? Then I was telling him about, I talked to the doctor before he sent me to this doctor about my teeth and my genetics. He said he was talking to me about genetics. It's crazy. I had genetic testing at IU. I don't know anything about it. IU, the school I graduated from. Well, I went to IUSB, but still, it's all the same. A Bachelor of Science from IU, and they can't even bother to tell me about my genetic testing and all the lab work they did. That's not medicine to me. That's not seek and you will find the answers, because they don't give a crap. It's all about this. I got that loud and clear. Just contacted the president. He was a male at the time, because the neurologist wasn't doing his job. So all of a sudden I got somebody else to call and give an excuse why that doctor did not get back with me. He was a great ringleader, but then that's all he did. He did nothing else. He scheduled all these tests and then didn't do his job. He didn't do anything to help me. Moved on to the next case. Let's order a bunch of tests. Let's jack up the bill and, well, heck, anybody can do that. I don't have to have a medical degree to order tests for people. This is all the stuff that I've witnessed along my journey. And the last 2 years with the medical, after all the years of listening to my clients and all the medical issues that they had, and the elderly clients, and then them getting sick and dying, and now I'm a statistic, and I'm a victim of the system. Well, God gave me one of these, and I'm going to use it for the greater good. And that's what I've been trying to do my whole life. And now I'm even more on a crusade to do so. In this darkened, weakened, wicked world we're living in. It doesn't have to be that way. You can choose to make it a better place to live in by changing the way you do things in life, to help thy neighbor out, to see a need and fill it, like my Michigan girl, lining up the chairs, picking up stuff that she's seen and laying it out so it's like wet towels from the night before so they dry. I've done that too. She saw a need and she filled it this morning, and she didn't look for this or this to do it. Just like me with the dinner yesterday. I didn't do it for a pat on the back. I did it as a thank you for everything this resort has done for me. I did what Jesus would do. What are you going to do today for Jesus? For what he did for you? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep showering every person I meet with loving kindness, no matter what. No matter what. And I'm going to continue to pick up trash when I see it. And if I don't have a glove, well, then I don't care. I'm still picking it up because that's what Jesus would do. That's what Jesus would do. So smokers out there, can you stop flicking your cigarettes out on the ground? Because frankly, I'm sick and tired of picking them up. I am certain I have picked up thousands of your cigarette butts in all the years I've seen them on the ground, including in my own backyard. Of friends that came over to my house that couldn't bother to put them in a butt tray. Ridiculous. The world is not your ashtray. And every time you flick that cigarette, well, he's watching you. Are you prepared on Judgment Day to talk about all the filth you've done in the world? Are you prepared when you're at the pearly gates to tell him about what a good person you've been? Because you can't lie to him. You got to tell him the truth because he already knows all the answers. You gonna lie about all them cigarettes you've been flicking out on the ground? Or beating your wife? Or crawling into bed with another woman that isn't yours to crawl into bed with? Is that what you want to do with your life? Continue on that destructive path? You think he's going to welcome you with open arms and forgive you and open up those gates and say, come on in? You're forgiven? Change thy ways? How about you change thy ways today so that when you get to those pearly gates, he just opens them up and lets you walk right in. Now you can believe or disagree. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just here, one of his messengers, and I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one out there. There are lots of us out here. And we all know what our jobs are. Every person on earth has been given the same duty. And our duty is to serve the Lord with gladness and thanksgiving. It is not to pay him back with death and destruction and lies of betrayal and adultery and greed and pride. We were put here to help him beautify this land he provided us with. That's what he put us here for, and to love one another. If that's the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway today is to love one another, then my mission was accomplished. Let's go from an impossible mission to a mission accomplished. How about that for a change of heart? How about we start softening those hardened hearts and help educate them that are so jaded that they cannot believe that this word is factual. The light behind my window should give you some idea, because it's getting brighter and brighter as I've talked, and you can no longer see any of the palm trees. Believe it, don't believe it, doesn't matter to me. But that to me right there, that's his light. That's not darkness, because darkness doesn't bring light. It brings lies and deceptions. What does God do when it turns dark outside? Gives us stars and the moon. That's not Satan. He could give two shits about us. That enemy is there to tell you everything you want to hear. But where's the follow through in the end? Where's the follow through in the end? He's on to his next victim. That's where he's at. With God, none of us are victims. We are all his children, and he wants to take care of us all. You know the song, Jesus Loves the Little Children? All the children of the world, red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. Doesn't matter what age we are all his children. Every single one of us. And man got his claws into all of us. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. At least not in me. And not in my girls. Because I will protect them as much as they'll protect me. So as you start this Monday, after Easter yesterday, look around and help fill those needs with those precious gifts that God has so gracefully given you. Let's prove to him that we're not going to waste his land anymore, that we're going to make it fruitful, we're going to make it flourish, and we're going to unite this country and the world with love. Stay tuned. I've got more coming up. Love to all bunches and bunches. Bye.